I'm calling it aluminum roll support devices or something like that. What'd you say,
What did I
Greg?
say about that when you said that what we're gonna do with the service? I said nothing's gonna break. It's just
Yes.
gonna keep working.
I
Yes.
knew it.
You don't really have to readjust that. So once you start on a full coil or almost full coil, it goes pretty much all the way down. So
That's what I was saying. It goes all the way down to like until you have like almost nothing left. All right, everyone. This is Grant Hubbard with Gutter Growth Podcast. This evening, I've got two special guests with me that are making a huge impact in the gutter industry as well as the gutter distribution industry. I've got Artur and Greg Kaszowski with me, and they're the owners of the Kaszowski Group, and they're coming out with recoilers, decoilers, floor cradles, and like we were just talking about off record, I'm calling it aluminum roll support devices or something like that. Hey, thanks for being with me this evening, gentlemen. How are you?
thank you to have us.
And hey, everyone. How are you?
All right. So this has been a long time coming. I know there's a pretty overwhelming demand for who's behind all the cool yellow stuff that we're seeing, I guess, exclusively all over ABC and Spectra. Are you guys dealing with any other like major metal distributors at the time?
Yes. So we are right now, I wouldn't say full blown. We do a lot of stuff for ABC Supply, but
Yeah.
still, we really do mostly West Coast, some South, East Coast a little bit off yet.
Okay.
Like I don't know for what reason why. I think for us it's wherever we kind of drop the pin, it starts spreading. Like we dropped something, so maybe 6 months ago, someone ordered something in Detroit, close to Detroit.
My
There's probably
hometown.
6 or 7, yeah. So we're we start in one place and kind of spreads. Like with you guys, like
Yeah.
shout to your friend Baba. He got
Yeah.
3 cradles from me, and he called me and said, I was like, he's so funny, such a nice guy.
He
And
is.
it's just, but it spreads. People see it, and like you said, especially the yellow color, and they're like, holy smoke, what's going on
Yep.
in here? Where that came from? So that's us. That's mostly Greg over there. I'm
right.
just trying to help him push the product.
Okay.
But he's the one that that's behind all these innovations and all the stuff that we make.
So, Greg, thanks for joining me this evening. I've heard a little bit about you're the brains of the operation
Yeah.
as far as the design and stuff. Tell me a
Technical
little
stuff
bit.
here.
Yeah, all the technical stuff, right? And so you're the service and Artur is the sales. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then, of
Service.
course, there's some combined.
Yeah, we do manufacture everything by ourselves, and then we do service, support. And Artur is sales, but actually he learned, like in the beginning he was very, he didn't know much about it, but I think right now he responds a lot of service calls too. So because most of the time I'm in Poland, so it's a time differences.
Yeah.
So
Understood.
it's hard for me to pick up the phone in 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, you have
that's
to
why
get a little bit of rest, right?
yeah, a couple hours, not too much, but
Just a little
I don't
bit.
like to sleep too much, but no time.
Tell me a little bit, Greg, about your background. Your brother said that you love to be on the spotlight, so I'm gonna put you on the spotlight right off the bat here.
No, not really.
But
He
tell me a
put
little
me
bit
there.
about this brain that you have that's came up with some of these cool products that we love.
Well, like I mentioned before, I used to work for a metal shop in New Jersey for many years. And there was, we used similar equipment every day. And there was some stuff that, I thought to myself that I can make them better, or easier to use, user friendly. So when, everyone can use it, it's just a little things. Even when I started a couple years back, I remember talking to some big companies that you know, like multi-profile panels manufacturer, and with some you know, like we use the machine every day, so we know what's wrong with it and what the
yeah.
problems with the machines are, but they never listen to people like us, you know, like
True.
users. So that's why we, like, I spoke to Artur many times, and we appreciate every feedback from our customers, you know.
Mhm.
There is some stuff on our machine, a recoiler, that was a customer feedback, you know. They call us and they said like, oh, listen, maybe you should do this, you know, and we really thought about it, and it was a good stuff, good, you know, it was a good idea. So we've used it, you know. So I think that's like the main thing. We want to be different from any other companies. Like, we don't want to, at least me, I don't think like, you know, I know everything. And if someone uses something every day and calls me and tells me like, oh, listen, I think that will work better, you know, I listen, I consider, you know, we try to see if we can, you know, we can use that for our equipment, you know.
That makes a lot of sense. Arthur, what did you do before this group that you guys have created to create these devices?
So, you know, and we kind of did it in the beginning together. So we came together with Greg. We actually we did for a whole year when we came, we did drywall. Just
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, we did, you know, so my hats off to everyone that does drywall and sanding.
Especially sanding.
And sanding especially. That's the
The
hardest
sanding, man, that's the
yeah,
worst.
that's the hardest job ever.
It is for sure.
So, and then we split. I went to work for a politician in New Jersey, and Greg
Okay.
went to the metal business. So we kind of separated, and then it took us another good 10 years before our like kind of, you know, ways collapsed again, and we met. You know, we were living in the same house doing totally different things, and I remember like today, like, you know, the first machine that Greg ever built was in a garage. You know, it was in our garage, and I wish I was looking for it. Maybe Greg has it. I don't think he'll be able to share it now. We actually have a picture, and to what Greg was saying, our recoiler, I think if we would have counted all revisions, this would be probably 10th, 12th revision of what we started with and what it is right now. And every time we think we're done, it's like we're saying, no, that's the last time we're doing our changes, because the problem is, let's say we added a shrink wrap, like a attachment, right?
Okay.
So in the beginning, that was just the pipe with, you know, with like 2 bolts to hold it in place. But then there's some guys from ABC, they called us, you know, this is sliding left to right. This is what I did. So he put like kind of stoppers on both ends. So now Greg said, okay, stoppers are good, but they don't look nice. So he just basically made like kind of wheelie things on both ends that now hold it in place. So like he was saying, this is all from the customer. Even a like a pocket on the side of the machine where customer called us, we don't have a place to put tape and a marker. So we made a pocket that sits on the side that you can actually put the tape and the marker inside, you know?
Fabulous. Yeah.
So those are ideas we get from people. Now, on the other end, you sometimes get crazy stuff. You know, when you're in the business that long, people will come up you can't even describe, you know?
I imagine.
Greg is the guy that sips through it and he says, okay, this we can do, this we cannot. So that's pretty much how it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So that gives me a little better understanding. Did you have any like sales or distribution knowledge prior to this, or?
Yes. So, and that's gonna be 2 things. So first of all, I always like talking, you know, like even in school, but hats off to Home Depot. I did Home Depot at Home Services for 4 years in New Jersey.
Okay. Okay.
I think they have one of the better selling programs to learn from.
Okay.
We went to Atlanta for a week. Great salesmen over there. Great guy. What they taught me is you have to believe it. And
Yes.
right now, it was, with Home Depot, it was a little bit harder. It's not your own company. You don't know all the insights. In here, we know we do this really, really to help people do it right.
Yeah.
I believe it wholeheartedly. Like, doesn't matter whoever's gonna say whatever they're gonna say. The amount of heart that Greg pours into that company, no one's gonna give you that. This is not
Right.
about the profit only, and you can see it even by our prices.
Yeah.
We're not gouging. We're trying to give good products in a good price. But yes, Home Depot, to me, I have to give it back to them. They taught me a lot when it comes to selling. A lot.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. Let's dive into a little bit about the durability of your products, Greg. How durable are these things? Can I run one over with a semi? Can I drop it out of a plane from
Yeah,
100,000
you're gonna
feet and it still works? I believe it. If you saw that video when I was unpackaging, I don't know if you saw, I like to do a lot of openings. And so when the
Okay.
boxes come, I always record it because, sometimes it makes for good footage. And, obviously I've been in the business 25 years. I've moved some floor cradles and decoilers and things around.
Uh-huh.
But as I was pulling this beautiful yellow thing out of the box, and I'm just like, this is my first time really feeling it. I'm like, okay, this is well done. I'm glad I purchased
Yeah.
this product, and I've got 7 more or whatever to open. These things
That's
are
why
really durable.
I told Artur that we should send you the recoiler so you can open it like that and make a video about it.
And then send it back, right?
Cool.
Because I can't afford it.
We can talk about it.
You can send me some stuff, and I'll unopen it, and then we won't tell anyone. Oh, well, we're recording, so we can't. How is Grant affording all this stuff? It was a pleasure doing business with you guys with the stuff we have purchased. That's just a small step until we grow a little bit more. And we'll talk about that. I'm sure you saw what I did with those floor cradles.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos, yes.
Made my own little device out of that. And so very cool. What would you say, is something that really stands out about your products that keep, the efficiency? Because that's really important in any product, whether it's a roll of tape, how long does it take to actually get the tape, when it closes back up? Like a pen, does the lid get stuck and you got to pull? Like, what about your product, that came from your brain, created something efficient?
What Artur mentioned before, like in my mind, like numbers are not important. So when I decide to
don't go crazy.
No,
we gotta make some money, okay? Don't go crazy.
What I wanted to say is with the machines and everything, like whatever materials and parts we're choosing for, it's I always put I wanted to do high quality on everything, like everything is galvanized, everything is secure, so it's rust free, so people don't have I used the machines when a year after using most of the parts inside was rusted, and it just doesn't look nice, and I think when someone spends money on equipment, he wants that equipment to look nice, for at least in my mind.
Yeah, no, they look fabulous.
For many years, it's an investment. So it's like you don't want to see a rust, 2 months after you open the box, So that's why that's the thing. Like we use the high quality materials for it. So I think that's the main thing,
I think even the paint that you guys have chosen to use, I'll give you an example because I have those floor cradles, and then I have my electric floor dolly, Big Joe thing that I drive around. And when I got full coils, I bought the 18-inch floor cradles. and I just
Uh-huh.
push these things around. So I'm scratching them up. I'm sorry to say that.
Hmm.
But, you know, I've bumped into these things a couple of times and I'm looking at them like, I mean, of course it damaged the paint job, but it's not like the paint is just chipping off. You guys have a
And
high
No,
quality product there.
it's a power coated, and it's not like it's just painted. It's not a wet paint, it's everything is
Right,
power
right.
coated. So it really sticks to the material,
and
Mhm.
now just Grant, so you know, that comes to those upgrades and everything. So on the full coil cradle, to the point you were talking about, bumping and everything, all the new one actually, and it's only on full coil cradles where we decide to switch from paint to galvanize. So right now, right, correct? Am I saying that correctly? So right
Yep.
now, a full coil cradle, all the frames and everything that you see is actually galvanized, so you can't even scratch it anymore.
Is it going to be, it's yellow all the way through? Or
No, so it's
oh,
goldish.
there'll be the galvanized color.
Yes,
Yes.
kind of goldish color, but that's only for full coil cradle.
Okay.
Because that's where we got the feedback that it's chipping with the time. It's kind of people hit it most.
Yeah,
Racks, decoilers are all staying yellow, just full coil cradle, and at least it really does make a difference right now. You can't chip it anymore. It's always gonna look like this. It's a little bit more expensive, I think, than coating, but then again, there's money that would not count for Greg, so why we care,
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Greg's about to ship me a decoiler setup over here just so
there
I
you
can
go.
unbox
See?
it. Greg, this is
the mute button in here for him.
So now I know why he said Greg doesn't like to talk much, because he doesn't want you to talk much.
Did not go through
Yeah.
the
He's like, no, let me do the talking. Let me do the talking.
This is fabulous. The point of this is to really get to know you guys. I think it's fabulous in any industry, right? Like, if I got to see a podcast or something, I mean, I'm just going to shoot from the hip here, like of a car. I think Elon Musk is like the only brain that we see behind an invention right now, constantly up front, right? And I'm not saying that's a good car or a bad car, but I'm just saying we know who's at the very top of the food chain with creating that product. There's a lot of like Ford or GM or, I mean, I don't know, Volvo. So you don't even know who's involved.
Yes, 100%.
Now we know who's involved.
Yes.
When you can start to, and that's why I wanted to bring you guys on. I want people to know who you are, because I really like your product, and I think that that's a great connection to understand who are these two gentlemen behind all the bright yellow Kaszowski grip. That's what they say, Kaszowski grip products. So tell me, like, what was the biggest challenge you faced? Like, saying, Greg was ready to go. I can imagine Greg was ready to go. Let's do it. You believe in me. I'm sure as the brother, you're like, no, I believe in you, but let's take this one step at a time. What was like the biggest challenge to like saying, all right, we're actually going to do this and we're going to try to sell these things?
You know what, for me, and I've learned lessons from Greg, because he was really from the beginning the one that believed in a product. And I was a little skeptical in the beginning. And I said, yes, we can easily sell it. But let's imagine we sell something to California. And then how do we fix it? Right? Anything goes wrong. Now, just so people know, and Greg used to do it a little. So
what did I say about that when you said that?
Huh?
What'd you say?
What did I say about that when you said that what we're gonna do with the service? I said nothing's gonna break. It's just gonna keep working.
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it.
Listen, but you're not the one selling that, So, but it's with every product,
Of course,
and
right.
yes, it's my brother. Yes, he tells me that's gonna work, but it still takes a little bit,
of course.
When you
Anything
do
could
it,
happen.
right? You still have that doubt.
Yeah.
But now, so I started I joined Greg kind of on the paper, July 2018, right?
Okay.
I think, and he used to do it 3-4 years before me, just here and there. all of those years, if not for electronic parts, because this is really the only problem with those units, it's unpredictable, right? Electronic parts during the COVID, they changed the chip on us, the program and stuff like this. Mechanical stuff, that we are responsible for, we manufacture, we produce them, we never had a problem.
Yeah.
Never. There was no even one service call about something mechanical. Now I think this is the first one. I had a call today from the first customer in 5 years that there is some strange noise in a motor, but that's it. If we ever have a problem, unfortunately, with this day and age, it's electronics. It doesn't matter if it's a car, whatever it is. If you have any issue, will be with electronics. And again,
but it's
there goes a reposter right now. Look.
Yeah,
because
tell me.
You're saying it's a problem with the electronics, but most of the time it's based on it's a extension cord doesn't have a ground, or the power incoming into the machine is not stable. It's most of that's where that problems come from. It's not like because it's a faulty electronics, but people running over extension cord short. It's all kinds of problems. It's not. I
Stand your ground, Greg.
100% behind
I'm sure
my
you've done
decision.
nothing wrong.
Not gonna budge. No, there's
I
no
love
way.
it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that I can tell that it's built that way. I can tell that it's built that way with a lot of pride.
So how I quick have to learn the service part of the business, because look, you see.
I love it, Greg.
So but that was the biggest challenge. That's why we built those USB ports on our recoilers. There's actually a USB port on the side. 99% of the time we're able to connect the computer, we can log in, and even if necessary, we can have those engineers that manufactures those controllers take a look at it.
Oh wow.
I don't think anyone has it. I've never heard. I mean, maybe on those big cattle length lines, where you spend 150 to 200,000, but not on a recoiler, the simple one for gutters. We actually have the insights. If someone connects us with a USB wire and has the computer we can access, you can actually look at the at the controller and the functions. Not that always that helps, but most of the time. And the way we were building it, it's for a really easy service. Like there's literally 3 or 4 parts.
It's just maintenance, no services.
Maintenance.
Maintenance, yeah.
Okay, so maintenance.
Yeah,
so
maintenance.
Literally 4 different parts, like the motor.
Oh, I love this.
Controller, that digital display. That something can happen, and that's replaceable with 3 screws. All the wires are plugged in inside, so you don't even need to do anything. Unplug it.
Oh
plug
wow.
the new one.
Okay.
This is just to make sure if anything happens, we don't have a customer, so customer doesn't have to send it back to us. That would be stupid. And that's most of the time the standard for industry. So
Greg. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. So we're trying to make it as easy. We usually FaceTime you, will walk you through whatever else has to happen. And most of the time, including like the motor, where it's only 4 screws, you can do all the service yourself. We'll walk you through all the steps. And usually downtown, unless the parts burn or something like this, the downtown is very minimal to those units.
Nothing burns.
Nothing burns. I was gonna say, Greg, when are you gonna stop him? Hey, so no, listen, there's transparency here. You guys are a growing company. There's nothing wrong with that. And I understand where Greg's coming from. Like, listen, we're not gonna have a problem. I run my business that way too. Like, listen, we're not gonna have a problem. But if we do, we'll figure it out immediately. We'll grow from it. Greg, are you like personally designing the module, the computer, like electronic phase 2? Is that why you have so much pride in that?
No, it's not.
Or is that something you outsource? Or
Yes, I mean, like I have idea what I want machine to do, and then right now we have a guy that works for me who
Okay.
does all the electronics. So I tell
Mhm.
him like, oh, listen, I want that machine to do this, this, and this, and then he put that together, and that's how most of the stuff gets done. We working on that new machine.
Ooh.
It's much more involved
Okay.
electronically, so that's gonna be very interesting, and it's a lot of moving parts, and I love it. I'm not sure if Arthur's gonna like it, but
Arthur will be
it's too
just
many
fine.
moving
Arthur's
parts.
gonna
Oh,
sell it.
okay.
He's like, I.
As simple as we can do it. Yeah, simply less moving parts, less screws, less everything. As long it works, we're not gonna fix it. But yes,
Yeah, yeah.
he set his mind on 24-inch cut length line with automatic shear and everything. Of course, why
Wow.
not?
Yeah.
So we're working like there's the sky is the limit, like we said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We with all the stuff like electronic wise, I don't think it's even possible anymore. You have to kind of outsource it.
No, it's not
Yeah.
worth it though. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
worth
just
it
not
to.
worth it. Yeah, it's
No, that
just
makes a lot of sense. Um, wow, that was a lot of my brain's running now because I know
yeah.
people all over the world that need your product. Let's talk a little bit about that. So are you just selling it in the United States? Are you finding some good
So
yeah, let me start with that. Are
mainly
you selling it all over?
mainly United States. That's bread and butter, and that's where the market it's unlimited in
Yeah.
here. But
Yes.
we do have so even in Hawaii right now, we just send the unit to Hawaii to ABC Supply. We
Okay.
have England. Um, we have stuff that we sold in Poland. Where else, Greg?
We
I know
have
that
one
Israel
machine
was
in
asking.
Israel. Yep.
Israel, right? And I know there was an inquiry from Australia as well, but I don't think that was ever finalized. But
No,
Excuse
yes,
me. Yeah.
they're not ready for us yet.
yeah.
No, they as soon
Not
as it gets there, they're gonna be ready and they're gonna wonder why they didn't move a little sooner. What
Yeah.
is just a side topic here? What's the rainfall like in Poland?
A lot.
Yeah,
Like
I would
similar to
say
what here?
I would
Like a
say like
rainforest or
Chicago,
Florida
maybe
or oh yeah, okay.
Chicago, like Chicago,
Yeah,
Is
But
is the
Chicago.
gutter industry big there? Is there a lot of roll
But
forming
they
and
have
seamless gutter machines?
no, they not really. They starting going into the seamless. They usually use those segments gutters, and most of the time is the plastic ones. So
PVC.
it's
Is that be
really it's
is that because of the financial conditions there? It's a lot of money to buy a roll forming
no,
machine, or
it's
just
not.
literally hasn't. Just a lot of people don't have them. So like,
No, I think it's more coming from Polish people. They like to do everything by themselves.
that makes sense.
So even when they build houses, they do that by themselves.
Yeah,
So they want to do gutters. They not gonna buy a machine to do their own house, So they
makes
go
sense.
to Castorama or whatever, like a Home Depot, and buy sections, and they do the gutters themselves. So
So
that's
there's
the
not a lot
most
of
of the.
contracting happening over there. Really, it's
No, I
people
mean
working
there's a one
together in their
company.
community.
Yes, there's one company I work with. They have a gutter machines, and they do push a lot of gutters now. It's a new thing, and people start to liking it. But it's nothing like in the United States. In the United States, pretty much. I mean, from what I understand, like everyone who does a roof or shingles and stuff, they may have a gutter machine on a van, and they run gutters. So it's not like that.
Mhm.
It's
So are
just
you
different. I
saying I
think it's
should
because
open a
of
gutter
the.
business over there with you guys
There
and
you
we can
go.
clean house? Yeah.
Yes.
You can make
Yeah.
the machine.
There,
I'll just tell them how to install
there
it.
is there is a plan for a gutter machine somewhere down the
Oh,
road.
okay.
That would be, but like we said,
Slow and
we
steady and simple.
yes, it's
Yeah.
No, not necessarily simple, but
yes. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
baby.
go. So
All
that's
right.
what it is.
This is awesome.
The garter machine, that's a lot of moving parts, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's take our time, and like I said, I
No,
think
let's put it that way. It doesn't make any sense to make just another garter machine.
Okay. I
We
respect
would
that
have
for
to make
sure.
something different, you know.
I have
So
some fabulous ideas for you.
there you go.
so that's the thing. That's why we don't go into that yet, because it has to be something different.
Okay. I like that. That means you're not just jumping the gun on things. Yeah, because there's already a market. The only way you could come out with like a 5 or 6 inch machine and really get the market to grab a hold of it. Well, if it was yellow, it would probably sell like
Yeah.
fire. But the price point would have to be probably, drastically
Yeah.
lower just to get some,
Yeah.
because people are going to be concerned about a lot more moving parts and with the warranty. And Arthur would be like, yeah, there's this warranty, and Greg would be like, it will never break. We don't
And
need a warranty. And
if we're on the
Pretty
market
much.
for 10, 12 years,
yeah,
then it's gonna be easier to do it.
yeah,
People will trust you. They've
Yes.
used our full coil cradles, they've used our recoilers, decoilers, spools. Like it seems like no one knows that we have spools. Like,
yeah.
it's like we're looking at the market. This amount of spools I have in a warehouse sitting that Greg sent me, he said that's gonna sell right away. It's still
These are the
there.
black spools.
Black spools, regular black spools.
So let me tell you about a black spool. You sold one to Frank Hennigan.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes.
so he's the owner of the Gutter app, and
Gotcha.
I'm the director of onboarding for the Gutter app.
Yeah.
And so he was telling me before, he was really excited to hear I was doing this podcast with you. And so here's an open invitation to this. He is holding that spool in the box so that we can do a recorded opening of it. And Greg will love this. And he wants to know if you guys would be open to being on his show, and he wants to open the spools.
100%.
Those spools
Yeah,
are
100%.
nice. The spools are
Yeah.
nice. I can give you some feedback on why, and Greg, so you might understand, knowing the industry here, spools used to be a really big thing. And I don't necessarily know what drove it to not be so big. I grew up on spools in my mid 20s. We would load 2 spools on the machine, full coils, and white and brown. And it was a lot easier than loading a whole bunch every day. Maybe because there's a lot more colors now, especially in the South. I think we sell 36 colors. I've tried to say, okay, this truck's going to do these 2 colors and put spools on there. Every time I put something on a spool on my machine, unless it's like a really massive house or something, the amount of time it takes me to set something in a floor cradle versus take a spool apart and put it on. And then, even if you were to buy a half a coil or a spin down from the company, sometimes they make the inner circle diameter too small. And so you've got to kind of unspin it to get it in the spool. And I think, there's that whole conversation there of what's happening.
Yeah, that's for Frank.
That's for Frank. Now, Frank's going to throw white on that thing probably all day. And, if we could get Spectra, I don't know if I see their stuff, your stuff in their warehouses, like, and that really excites me.
I started to say we ABCS, but we talk to Service Partner, we talk to Beacon, we talk to pretty much everyone, out there. Like I've heard Spectra wants to switch to us and do it, but is it true? Are those just rumors? We would be more than happy. And I know we spoke with them a few times. You always, like I said, welcome new business, but we'll take our time. Mm-hmm. I think to what you were saying, I think the future, it's especially in a spin down, it's in arbors. Because right now you can see a lot of guys using spools, but if you really would do a calculation, when you were spinning and your recoiler stops and your material keeps going and it's hitting the floor and it's scratching, if you take 2 feet of every spin you do a day, I don't know what's the foot of the coil, $3, $4, just multiply it times 100 times whatever it is in every location, and those rocks eventually, and I'm not saying that we're the only one, but the one that have friction brakes that stop your spool, that stop the arbor, that down the line, if you have a lot of spools, that's going to save you a lot of money, in the material.
I believe you, and I've seen it firsthand. ABC in Houston was the first time I got to see your product in real life. I follow everything. The minute you guys had this stuff out and you had a YouTube, I saw it, and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So ABC historically has always been roofing first and then gutters, and I think they've lost a lot of business that way. And so I believe they've acquired K-Can, and now they're doing gutter only divisions, which I'm glad to see. And I go to Houston to pick up some coil. I want to say it was 2 years ago or a year, I don't know. But I walk into a new gutter only division, and I see yellow across the whole warehouse. And I go, man, I got some video and picture. I knew the guy there, so he let me walk back into the warehouse. I check it out, and I'm like, these guys are here. Okay, so now I got to start checking it out, right? So I've been talking about it, and we finally were able to pull the trigger on some of our own. So hats off to you guys for taking
and we call them Army of Yellow.
Army of Yellow, man. I love it. It was a fabulous choice in color. Who chose the color? Was that you, Greg?
I think
this is
no. I don't know. Greg was red in the beginning. I said
Greg was red.
If we're gonna sell those things in Texas, they cannot be communist red. They got to be bright yellow. I ain't gonna sell in Texas. So
no, it's
I love it.
No, I don't remember honestly where the yellow came from.
No, the first one was red because it was like spray painted in a garage. So that's the color they had in Home Depot. So
no, red was a good choice. Yellow was a fabulous choice.
No,
it just pops. It's eye catching.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea. We want something that everyone see from far.
Talk to me a little bit about what you think is the current trend. Are you guys behind the ball or are you ahead of it? What do you think, Greg?
I mean, I think with the decoilers, upright coiler rocks, I think we a little bit of ahead because, like Artur said before, that people stuck with those spool rocks they have on the walls. I don't think from a recoiling, I know for a fact they don't work. So I think with that we much better for if someone really looking for high quality and high speed recoiling. I think we are the choice.
Yeah.
And like I said, with everything else we want to do, like we try to do new stuff. Like before we start, we had there was the money issue and all that. In the beginning, it's not easy. So
yeah, I'm having a money issue right now buying a decoiler from you guys.
There you go.
I thought we figured this out already.
Oh, you're my man. Okay, I love this. So
there you go.
Kip, we're getting a decoiler, baby.
There you go. So let me mention something before we go further with this. So very overlooked thing is, and you're not using it neither on your coils, it's that bar, because Greg's he's the only one, and he can speak more to it, but he's the only one that, our company is the only one that we actually have that tension brake, and I think I'm saying that right, the tension brake built inside the frame. And
yes, and I do use it. I use it on my floor cradles that are in the trucks.
Gotcha. And
so the ones in the shop, they don't have any inertia. They can't really go anywhere because there's not in a moving vehicle. In the moving vehicle, while they're hooked to a machine in the stopped vehicle, yes, 100%. And unless we're talking about 3 spins,
no,
like
because
a real coil, this thing it works perfectly. Like something
yeah,
thick,
but for that's a two. I mean, there's 2 ways of using that bar. It's a one for transportation. So when you have in a
Yeah.
vehicle, you have to tie those nuts on both sides, so
Yep.
it sits down and keep the coil down. But also for if you use it as a for running the gutters, if you release those nuts and just use those
The wire that
the
comes up
springs,
and hooks.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, the
that's so
wires and
cool.
springs. So
That's so
that gives you
cool.
a little bit of the tension on it, so you don't have the runoffs on the spins out or whatever that you call that on a coil, so it doesn't scratches and gives you a little bit of the tension, not too much. Another thing too is you don't really have to readjust that. So once you start on a full coil or almost full coil, it goes pretty much all the way down. So
That's what I was saying. It goes all the way down to until you have almost nothing left, which you can start it.
Yeah.
We started on 100. I mean, I haven't put a full coil on that particular cradle. No, yeah, I have. I put full coil of copper the day I got that floor cradle in the trailer behind a Euro box machine.
Of
And
course, you had to put the heaviest one.
Yeah, I try it out. Why not, man? And I pulled that. But it worked. I pulled that brake up, and I set it in there, and I got the other side. We pulled it up. We got it on. And what I didn't want, especially with coil, is what happens. It slowly just starts coming out and scratching
Yeah.
against the back wall or on the floor. And I thought it worked splendidly. So we really
No,
appreciate that part of the
it's a
invention.
very simple solution for it, but I think it's works out well.
I want to come to Chicago. Where are these things made? They're made in Chicago. So you're in Chicago.
Yeah. So the all different parts, and Greg can speak
Made
better
differently,
to
yeah.
it. Like right now we are spread all over the place.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
Wouldn't be
Yep.
one place. So we're hoping, we're kind of reluctant to pull the trigger. We're looking for our own, truly own place in Chicago
Yep.
right now, where everything would be. Because for
I'd
now,
love to come see it made.
yeah, it's spread all over the place. Like I said, if you ever Chicago, we definitely go to lunch. I can't show you stuff yet, but we'll definitely go somewhere if you're in Chicago.
Cool. Yeah.
Once we'll invite you. Once we're set up in our own location and everything, it's where it's supposed to be, then we'll invite you, and it's gonna be a lot easier.
No, I respect that. I don't want anybody at my place right now. It's just all full of boxes waiting to be unopened. Every time my knife gets dull, I've got to pause.
One thing gets done in here, the other thing gets done in here.
Yep.
We had friendly trucking company that allow us to store some stuff, so it was, it takes money, unfortunately, to do all of it,
Yeah.
and to do it the way you want it, but
do it right.
We're waiting and see. I don't know what your feelings are. I think we're going into, tough year next year.
No.
For many people. No, you think it's gonna be better?
In the gutter industry? Yeah, here we come. Partner with the right people. I'm not saying you specifically, but you as well, myself as well.
I know what
right?
you're saying.
Align yourself with the right people. And sometimes we could talk about the market, the economy, sure. But no, we're going to be just fine. People are going to keep putting gutters on their home. If you partner with the right suppliers, I'm partnered with Spectra specifically, and Spectra is going to go like this. My business is going to go like this. My guys in gutter growth that are having me and Tim, and the guys in gutter installer and gutter school that have coaches that need them. Not everybody necessarily needs a coach. We all need a mentor. We're going to continue to make sure that they go like this. And Americans love spending money. They're not going to spend money.
They do. Hopefully, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I just, I plan for worst and think
of course
best, but we got to.
They're not going to stop spending money. Not on their house. Not with gutters. Gutters is like recession proof. There's some recession to it, but you got to have gutters to get a new door, new garage sills, new windows, to do landscaping. when your foundation is moving, like all the problems that happen below the roof, almost all of those are things that gutters are a solution for. And so as we continue to focus on that in our education with the customers, and they become more aware of the importance of gutters, the better all of us are going to do in the rain gutter industry, as well as the suppliers and manufacturers of machines and, you know, the things you guys make, and the metal themselves, the mills. So I believe we're going to be just fine next year in the rain gutter business. Now, if you were making like standing seam roll forming machines or something, maybe not. Gutters, we're going to be all right. Yeah, gutters will be okay.
And that's where we're going towards that direction. I mean, you'll see some, you know, some stuff probably, you know, second half this year where we're actually working on the triple stand, but for gutter, for roofing business. So that stand is gonna hold probably like, you know, and I don't want to overstate it.
Yeah.
15,000 pounds.
Holy cow. Okay.
It's gonna be full, you know, 24-inch coils. You'll be able to store it. Same thing that we have right now, just on steroids, you know, for roofing business. We started with you know, big, you know, 24-inch decoilers. Right now we're gonna have some, you know, coming up as well. So we're going, and you know, we're evolving every day. And like I said,
we're not sleeping here.
No sleep. Me neither.
No.
Me neither.
No.
But there's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm doing like 30 and 8s right now to make sure that the gutter industry has access to real solid people like you and your brother, Greg. So I want to dive right into this towards the end here of like, and I think you just hit the nail on the head. You're doing some stuff in roofing, but are you going to do anything custom, Greg? Now, hold on, Arthur. I'm not going to talk him into anything crazy, but let's say it's just hypothetically, and I know the sky's the limit, but in reality, let's say it's 5 years from now. Business is good. You know, you've kept your brother Arthur's kept you at bay just a little bit, and a guy like me or Frank or you know, Corey J calls you and says, hey, you know, doing $15-20 million a year. I want to have my own little distribution, and I want you to build this for me. Would you entertain it?
I mean,
the custom one-off?
We already built some custom
doing it.
profiles. I sold one in Poland.
See, we can't get the good stuff over here, but your buddies get the good stuff.
No, it's not that, you know.
The great stuff. I'm joking.
I have a friend actually works for I think it's they big in Pennsylvania. It's a roofing company. I forgot the name of it, but they're really big. And he called me other day, and he said like he also wants to build a machine for like a drip edge profile for under the shingles. So I definitely, because you know, it's I like to do stuff. The stuff we already selling, it's just in the production, so it's not much for me to think about it. You know, it just happens. And but definitely wants to make new stuff. You know, like I mean, that was probably the one reason why I quit my job for 15 years. It just was everything I did in job was like automatic. You know, I don't have to think about it. It was just I done it. You know, and it just kind of bored me. I have to keep my mind occupied, and that's why I like to think of new stuff. You know, so
For
definitely
sure.
open for custom equipment. You know,
I got one I'm going to throw at you guys right now. And Arthur, I think that you saw, I don't want to take up a bunch of your time, but you saw the device that I made, right? In order for the guys that don't have as much money, with one floor cradle with the full coil on it, and then another floor cradle on the wheels with the board, with the scale, with another board with the floor cradle on it. Could you see yourself building that empty side with the scale built into it at a little bit smaller price point, so that Us guys that
I
spend
think
all our
everything.
money on machines can
No,
afford
yeah,
it.
everything like, and again, yes, and I want to not want to say
Yeah.
no, but
Of
not
course.
to this. I'm saying just the whole idea for us, and I understand the the hand doing and people not having that much money. We were trying to stay with really low with the price, aggressive with the price, so everyone can
Mhm.
do electric, because once you have it, you really like it, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, as just pure business, if there is something you guys come up with, if someone has an idea and needs someone to that has understanding of the business to look at it and or just make it, if that
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
financially say sense for you guys and us, why not? You know?
I'll tell you why too for the hand, just so you understand. Um, I know we're having some fun here. It's definitely not about the money, okay, for us to buy what we want to buy. Right now, we have 3 locations and they're all a little bit smaller. And so, I buy 60 coils at a time and put them into a location. And then I've got $250,000 of inventory on the floor and whatever 1,500 or 2,000 square feet. I can't even turn around with the forklift in there.
Gotcha.
I can't get this stuff up on to your rack. I just don't have the room. Now, in a year, next year, at the end of the year when we go bigger, I'm sorry, my allergies are killing me. We will 100% be buying your full system, decoiler, all that. I cannot wait. And it doesn't make sense for me to right now pull the trigger on like just a single 3 rack when I've
Mhm.
got top 6, top 9 colors out of 36.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
spend all day just moving coils. If I'm gonna do it, we need to get 9 of them at least to start. So it's more about the space. And when I created that little device, it's more of a safety feature of spinning like this versus guys like I don't know what you call it, kaleidoscoping up. You can pull the metal up and
Gotcha.
then
Up
lock
and
it, and then you kind of spin it, which scratches the paint the whole time you're doing that, and you don't know until you know.
But you see, that's what we're talking about. That a lot of ideas comes from the customers. You
Mhm.
know, it's just later on setting up the price point, where
Yeah,
you
for
want to
sure.
be. Does this make sense, or
Yeah.
how much is that going to cost and stuff like this? But like I said, if there is a space on the market for something like this, why not? Why
I'll tell
not?
you that there is because speaking of Bubba, we're going to give him 2 shout outs on this one. He's doing exactly what I did. That's the purpose for those. He's going
Gotcha.
to spin them off. And I can tell you, I don't know, um, there's several other people that have immediately went and purchased those scales. So I know that they went and purchased the cradles. So there's at least, I'd say about 10 guys right now that are going to be taking that idea. And at another point in time, we could talk price point. I think you struck gold right there,
Yeah,
along with what you already have because you have a fabulous product. Not
yeah.
just that one by itself, but people are gonna go, oh, okay, it's $3,600 for that little thing. Let me just have that and another thing so I can at least start. We wanna partner with people, and I want you guys to partner with people at the lower level, something like that specific idea that's gonna allow them to get better margins so that we can get them to buy full coils and do their own spin downs.
Hmm.
And next year they got a lot more money and they can then buy
No,
your
no, I
full setup.
understand. No, I
Yeah,
understand where
yeah,
you're going with
yeah.
this 100%. Not everyone wants to buy it. And I think it's a good idea to show them, how you can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, just some food for thought. Greg's
Yeah,
already got it built in his head.
yeah,
He's gonna
he's
call me
already
later and
built
go,
it.
let's do it, man. I already got one built. Man, I really
I
appreciate go ahead, Greg.
I Arthur's talking about the money, so I'm not allowed to say anything, so I'm just sitting quiet.
That's like me and my wife.
There you go.
It's like my relationship with Kip too. So Kip, you got to, I think, speak with him on the phone, Arthur. He's a
Yeah,
fabulous businessman. He has taught me, specifically, Kip has taught me so much about the systems that I've already been using and how to be even more efficient with those systems. My hat's off to Kip. He knows how I feel about him. And I mean, the guy let me spend like $500,000 of his money this year And he's just like, yep, I believe it. Let's do it. Let's go. So one thing after another, we're really excited to pull the trigger. We just need a little bit more space, and that's coming 2024. We are growing.
Good.
Nice.
Tell me a little bit, like, here to wrap up, about how did you feel when you really started to come out with this? This is a little bit more specifically for you, Greg, and then Arthur, I'm sure you'll shape it up. Was there any fear because this is already out on the market and it's so similar? Like, hey, we've got to like reinvent the wheel? Or did you know that there was something that needed to change and you just dove right in? You're like, nope, I can make this better than anything that's out there, and here's why.
Yeah, pretty much. That's your
Pretty
last
much you said
sentence.
it. That's it.
Yeah, I can tell.
But-
Yeah, okay.
No, it's, I mean, of course you had it, but the thing is, like, I probably before made my first machine, I, I was thinking about it for a long time, and I
Mhm.
always want to do it. And then I put, then I decide to do it. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that everything was colorful and my road, to that point was nice and, was
Yeah,
bumpy, and we had to deal with a lot of problems. And but we just kept working and working and working, and it's, I think it's a, like I said, I have more ideas that I wanted to, maybe like Arthur said before, I don't really think about money wise. I have some ideas, I want to do it, and it doesn't matter what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. So
you're gonna do it. Arthur, you believe in your brother. I know you do. That's why
I
you've
do,
done this
yes, I
venture with
do,
him.
but we're not gonna eat believe, right? We gotta eat
Love it. Okay, which one of you's older?
So we're gonna
Arthur, are you the older brother or the younger?
Yeah, I'm the older one. So
You're the older. Dang it, they get you every
I
time.
think we're gonna give him one project a year that can break even, but everything else has to make money, So
Yeah.
just
yeah.
no, I'm joking in here.
Of course.
I think whatever he does, people usually see the value in it. It doesn't matter if it's coil cradle. I think the only one, just say not we do everything perfect. I think we also have a decoiler that can actually be gutter mounted. It's like the smaller decoiler that you can mount on the gutter machine, but that never caught on for some as well. But we have
Greg, you've got one of these laying around, don't you?
We do. So maybe
I
let's
would
do
say
this.
few of them.
So maybe do this. Maybe instead of the big one that
No,
Greg almost sent you, and I think you're gonna love it.
I'm gonna love anything that you guys, even if you send me a shirt, I'm gonna love it because I
We're
love
gonna
the black
have that
and
as
yellow.
well. But
Yeah.
I'll send you the what we call compact decoiler, the one that you can actually use it on the floor and you can use it on the gutter machine. And let's see what you do with it.
That is fabulous. Oh, I'm so honored. That's very
Especially with when you have the machine, when you put the full coil on it, that would work correct, So because it's kind of like you mentioned before about the spools, it's you have to stick the arbor inside the coil and put that on the machine. If you would have to keep changing colors, would be pain in the ass. But just to load the full coil on the machine, I think it's gonna work great because you have those friction brakes on it. So it's gonna keep the coil steady,
Wow.
Let's do that. Let's send you the compact one. Again, the compact still can be used on the floor. It has just a little bit less clearance, but for most of 11 and 15-inch coils should be fine. And I would want to see how you're gonna run with it. I think you're gonna have some fun with it. So I think it's something that not a lot of people know, and we thought that's gonna be a good idea. But you're not always gonna have 100%.
Well, maybe I just need to figure it out a little bit and then help you push it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
we'll see.
Or
Greg,
maybe
I got your back, man.
Honestly, this is what I'm gonna tell you. You either gonna revive or kill that product, because if nothing's gonna happen with that, we're probably gonna kill it.
I respect that.
So
Okay. Okay.
so we'll
Wow.
see what you do with it, and we'll take it from there.
Tell me real quick, Arthur, what's the website? How do people go on, check out your product and order?
With the spelling, are you kidding
Let's
me?
do it.
Well,
Just say it.
I was
Just say
I
it.
was doing so good, whole thing, and now you get Polish guy to spell, like.
Hold on. No, so let's do this for everybody. Let's take a second because I was really intrigued. How do you say your last name in Polish if you were Polish?
So if you were Polish, you would say Kaszowski.
And how do we say it in English over here
Again,
in America?
depends on the day. Usually we would say Kaszowski Group, right?
Kaszowski
You
Group,
even say
okay.
it, yeah, you say it better than us, honestly. Like I told you with my kids, each
Yeah.
time I pronounce it, they laugh. They're like, "That it's not how it goes." So
That's
I
awesome.
said, yes, it goes Kaszowski. That's it.
Kaszowski. That's
the only one I
Kaszowski
can
Group.
pronounce. No, but Kaszowski Group, I think that's usually how people. But we have, did I get Kawasaki Group and all different kinds.
Yeah.
And we know it and we love it. It's us.
Yeah. Well, your
Yeah.
customers love the product that you have. I haven't met anybody that said anything bad, and I know several people that have your stuff. So
100%.
it's KaszowskiGroup.com or
.com.
GRP.com.
Yeah, KaszowskiGroup.com.
KaszowskiGroup.com. And then how can we hear where Greg does all these really long speeches on YouTube? It's the same thing.
Same thing. I believe you go to www.youtube.com @recoilers. You add it like at the email @recoilers. It should go right there. So youtube.com @recoilers. It should get you to our channel.
But I also thought we have under each product we have the link on the website.
Yeah,
Most of the time we do. If the website is working the way it's supposed to work, we do. That's not always happening as well, So we have a lot of changes, that we have to do, and it takes a little bit, but most of the time, right?
So if you guys go to YouTube and put in Kaszowski Group, it just pulls up all their stuff.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think if you do @recoilers, it's gonna come up as well.
Beautiful. Hey, I really appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate your knowledge, and I appreciate the bright yellow products I have on the floor. It has made our job in the shop 100 times easier. Even though I've just made my own little invention, I needed the products that you guys had to do that. The way that they spin is so free. You can see in the video, this isn't like a big push. I mean, my guys just they're supposed to be looking, but they're just talking, and just one hand, these things are just spinning. And some of the stronger guys, if they push a little, these things start really going, and the other guy can't keep up. The bearings are fabulous, and it's just a fabulous product, and I really appreciate your time. Greg, do you have one last thing you want to tell us before we go? I know you got something for me.
No, I'm not a big talker. No.
Artur and Greg, it was an absolute pleasure. I hope you have a happy holidays, and I really look forward to when I'm able to purchase the big setup, and I can start to continue to lower my margins, because that's what your products do for the customers, whoever they are. It helps them lower their material margin.
Yeah. Same in here. On our end. Thank you for a podcast, for us being able to come on and share with you guys. Like I told you before, 5 years ago, no one even heard of us. We're going there. Thanks, to everyone. Thanks to God. And I'll finish that. Very, very Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah.
And thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. God is good.
Thank you very much.
He's the reason that we're all here, right? So
yeah.
Happy holidays. Until we talk again soon. Greg, you know my address. You can fill up a whole semi. I got a cul-de-sac where I live, man. They can just send it
there. You go. Okay.
Appreciate you guys. Yep, absolutely.
Have a good